here away, thought Halvor, that I might warm myself a bit, and get a morsel to keep my body and soul together. When he got up to it, he saw the light came from a wretched little hut, and through the window he saw an old couple inside. They were as grey-headed as a pair of doves, and the old wife had such a nose, why, it was so long, she used it for a poker to stir the fire as she sat in the ingle. "Good evening", said Halvor. "Good evening", said the old wife. "But what errand can you have in coming thither?" she went on, "for no Christian folk have been here these 100 years or more." Well, Halvor told him all about himself, and how he wanted to get to Soria Moria Castle, and asked if she knew the way thither. "No", said the wife, "that I don't, but see now, here comes the moon. I'll ask her, she'll know all about it, for doesn't she shine on everything?" So when the moon stood clear and bright over the tree tops, the old wife went out. thou moon", she screamed, "canst thou tell me the way to Soria Moria Castle?" "No", said the moon, "that I can't, for the last time I shone there a cloud stood before me." "Wait a bit still", said the old wife to Halvor, "by and by comes the west wind. He's sure to know, for he puffs and blows around every corner." "Nay, nay", said the old wife, when she went out again, "you don't mean to say you've got a horse too? Just turn the poor beastie loose in our town, and don't let him stand there and starve to death at the door." Then she ran on, "But won't you swap him way to me? We've got an old pair of boots here, with which you can take 20 miles at each stride. Those you shall have for your horse, and so you'll get all the sooner to Soria Moria Castle." That Halvor was willing to do at once, and the old wife was so glad at having the horse, she was ready to dance and skip for joy. "For now", she said, "I shall be able to ride to church. I too think of that." As for Halvor, he had no rest, and wanted to be off at once, but the old wife said there was no hurry. "Lie down on the bench with you and sleep a bit, for we've no bed to offer you, and I'll watch and wake you when the west wind comes." So after a while up came the west wind, roaring and howling along, till the walls creaked and groaned again. Out ran the old wife. thou west wind, canst thou tell me the way to Soria Moria Castle? Here's one who wants to get thither." "Yes, I know it very well", said the west wind, "and now I'm just off thither to dry clothes for the wedding that's to be. If he's swift of foot he can go along with me." Out ran Halvor. "You'll have to stretch your legs if you mean to keep up", said the west wind. So off he set over field and hedge and hill and fell, and Halvor had hard work to keep up. "Well", said the west wind, "now I've no time to stay with you any longer, for I've got to go away yonder and tear down a strip of spruce wood first, before I go to the bleaching ground to dry the clothes. But if you go alongside the hill, you'll come to a lot of lassies standing washing clothes, and then you've not far to go to Soria Moria Castle." In a little while Halvor came upon the lassies, who stood washing, and they asked if he had seen anything of the west wind who was to come and dry the clothes for the wedding. "Aye, aye, that I have", said Halvor. "He's only gone to tear down a strip of spruce wood. It'll not be long before he's here." And then he asked them the way to Soria Moria Castle. So they put him on the right way, and when he got to the castle it was full of folk and horses, so full it made one giddy to look at them. But Halvor was so ragged and torn from having followed the west wind through brush and briar and bog, that he kept on one side and wouldn't show himself till the last day when the bridal feast was to be. So when all, as was then right and fitting, were to drink the bride and bridegroom's health and wish them luck, and when the cupbearer was to drink to them all again, both knights and squires, last of all he came in turn to Halvor. He drank their health, but let the ring which the Princess had put upon his finger as he lay by the lake fall into the glass, and bade the cupbearer go and greet the bride and hand her the glass. Then up rose the Princess from the board at once. "Who is most worthy to have one of us?" she said. "He that has set us free, or he that here sits by me as bridegroom?" Well, they all said there could be but one voice and will as to that. And when Halvor heard that, he wasn't long in throwing off his beggar's rags and arraying himself as bridegroom. "Aye, aye, here is the right one after all", said the youngest Princess as soon as she saw him, and so she tossed the other one out of the window and held her wedding with Halvor. End of section 62.